As we dove deeper into Flight Software project, we quickly discovered that Docker, which was intended to unify our environments, was more complicated than we'd hoped. We tried containerizing an already running system. We couldn't just shut it down, which felt like trying to build an Auburn University Tux machine on top of a live process. We simply didn't have the flexibility to stop the server, inject Docker seamlessly, or reconfigure everything at once. Meanwhile, our group also had a mix of different operating systems such as Mac OS, Windows, and various Linux distros. We assumed Docker would solve cross-platform concerns automatically, but instead it introduced our own networking permissions and file system quirks that forced us to decide keep pushing Docker in a half-baked way or pivot to a native install until we can revisit a more robust container strategy. On top of Docker woes, some of us ran into missing dependencies or library version mismatches when attempting a local F-Prime installation. For instance, specific Python versions or system packages wouldn't align with tutorials instructions, or certain F-Prime branches were out of sync with our environment. We had to juggle multiple attempts from installing different versions of Python to tweaking environment variables. Then once we actually got F prime running, we realized we wanted a visual blueprint of math sender and math receiver and the data flows they shared. So we layered on a diagramming tool, draw.io, that helped us conceptualize how ports and commands worked, but also became another source of confusion as we tried to keep the diagrams consistent across different software and export formats. So collectively, these hiccups taught us some valuable lessons about environment management, cross-platform deployment, and the importance of version control with both F-Prime and diagramming tools. We still believe Docker has benefits, but our initial approach clearly underscored the need for a more deliberate containerization plan, especially while an existing system can't be turned off or reconfigured overnight. So for now, most of us are doing native installs, dealing with direct challenges of each OS. Once we have a more bandwidth to standardize the build process, we'll revisit Docker with fresh insight. Despite the headaches, each fix or workarounds has ultimately helped us solidify our understanding of F prime and how to adapt it to real world constraints.